Hi, I'm Brian Horner, and here's another video in our touchscreen series. This one is going to be for diesel burner controls. So there's always lots of questions on lighting the burners, when I can light them, when I can't, when the computer locks you out. There's lots of safety things built in. But the biggest things that you have to remember is the fact that on our safety tag, we don't allow you to light the burners unless you have enough material in the tank to cover the upper and the lower flue. That is just a pure safety thing, so we're not igniting fumes. So on every unit there is a tag that says how many gallons it takes to light the lower burner, how many gallons it takes to light the upper burner. Okay, that is also on the measuring stick, which the measuring stick is simply stored up on top, and you would put the measuring stick in, lower it into the manhole until it just touches the oil, and then you can see the number of gallons. If you didn't trust your tank gauge, I would always use the measuring stick to verify that you have enough material in your tank. Sometimes our computer is reading gallons, but if that reading isn't off or your tank gauge is out of calibration, it may not let you light your burners because it thinks that you don't have enough material. So I would always verify that I have enough material with the measuring stick. And in our operation manual, currently on page 9, it explains how to use the measuring stick if you forget. So that's just a simple reference. Our operation manual is very good for our touchscreens, so please always resort back to that, either digitally online or the hard copy that we send with the truck. But once we know we have enough material to light our burner control pops up over here, and if we touch it, now I get my on and off for my lower burner and on and off for my upper burner. You'll notice that they're flashing, and they'll go away. You just hit it again. So the key things, 15 minutes. That is the amount of time that our burners will light and stay lit before they'll shut off. Because we don't have enough material in this tank in order to cover the flues. So it shuts us down for 15 minutes. If we had enough material and our gallons said that we did, which we can play with this quickly, we can manually move the float just to show you that normally it would be 60 minutes, and that's when the burners would shut off. Once you light the burners, anytime during the 15 or 60 minute cycle, you can hit reset timer and the burners will stay lit and keep going. But you have to be here in order to do that before it runs out. If not, you'll have to relight the burners. So let's just go through the process. We verified that we got enough oil or not enough oil because we're actually at 15 minutes. We touched that. We're gonna have to set a temperature. Right now our burners will not light unless the temperature, which happens to be the same, 95 and 95. So my burners won't light because it thinks we're already at the temperature that we need, because the internal temperature on a hot day like today is already 95 degrees inside that tank. So we have to tell it that we want to go above the 95. So we simply move this up to where we want our burners to shut off. And I would caution that because they're heated tubes in there, that I would always err on the side of 10 degrees. And what I mean with that, if you want it at 150, like I have set here, I would probably set this down to 140. Because after you shut your burners off, those tubes still remain hot and your temperature will grow about 10 degrees. So if you really want to shoot at a particular number, let's just say 175 is a good number for emulsion, I would actually set my burners at 165, and then when they shut off, I'll end up getting to my 175. Just a common rule of caution. But once I set that there, I want to do a couple things. I want to make sure my smokestacks are open. That way my flues can exhaust, and then we simply move back over, touch the screen, and we push the button, and it's going to give me an error because it doesn't think there's oil in there. But if I just touch that, now you'll see a little flame icon here. If you can hear it, the burner has started the fan and now it'll ignite. Now that's going to run till it gets to 65 or 165 degrees, or it runs out of your 15 minutes, okay? If you want to shut them off, you can simply just shut them off here. The flame goes away, and now the fan will run for a couple seconds to blow all the excess smoke out of the stack, and then it will shut off. If for some reason, let's go to the upper, we hold that, we get this error, and see this error says tank level low. It doesn't want us to light the burners. So with this error, if I hit the question mark, it's going to bring up, for safety reasons, each flue must be covered by at least 6 inches of product, lower flue not covered, upper flue not covered, do not light burners or explosion may occur. So it gives you that warning. If you don't want to see that, you can clear that out. You can ignore it, and you can go back and hold the button. Now it lit. You can see it's lit here. And now again, that will run for the 15-minute cycle or until it reaches that temperature. And we're going to get that error again because the tank gauge is still showing 0. So we don't want to see that. We want to shut it off. We simply hit off, and then it's done. So that's the simple way and the safety procedure to be able to light your burners. It's just a quick, easy way. LP burners are a little more in depth. It's the same procedure, except you have to open the LP tank in order for anything to work. But basically, most trucks go out with diesel burners, so that is the procedure in order to light your burners. I would also suggest, if you light your burners, that you go to circulate and tank, and you start your pump in either manual and adjust it, or go to auto and start your pump. So that way we're circulating material across those hot flues while our burners are lit. So it will heat up quicker, and it won't boil the water out of your emulsion, and it won't overcook your hot oil. So always circulate in the tank roughly 150, anything from 100 to 150 gallons a minute is fine. Circulating that material while we're running our burners. So we can hit ignore, we can go back to load, and we're back to the beginning. So that was just a quick overview on lighting the burners.